NMH at 1 brings you the latest news, both local and international, ranging from current affairs to community stories, sports and economic news.
Here are the news headlines. Extraordinary SADC Organ Troika Summit kicks off today. No overtime without reward for NWR employees. Swakopmund Uranium signed to increase salaries by 5.8% this year. And finally, mixed reactions to IPC's power sharing proposal. I am Diana Master.
And I am Ashwin Bedi. Midday news update after the break. Pendananda this morning opened the two-day extraordinary SADC Organ Troika Summit. This meeting comprised of technical staff discussing the troubled countries in the region, especially the security and political situation in Eswatini and Democratic Republic of Congo. Jemima Beakus was there.
While the ministerial meeting and the summit will be attended by 1+5. I thus trust that this proposal is agreeable to the police in terms of our deliberations today, not to open up the issues that were agreed upon by the ministers in November, in order for us to expedite our work with this. I therefore hope that we can go ahead and adapt our agenda as prepared by the Secretariat. Any move to adapt the agenda is presented. I see no objection, so adopted. So we now wish to request the media to excuse us for a while. Thank you.
Remember to engage with these stories on our social media throughout the broadcast. Visual news coming up right after the break.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. We Talk brings you community news that lies at the heart of Windhoek residents. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact wetalk@synergy.com.na. You live, we talk.
Public Service Union of Namibia Secretary General Matthias Hakuria explains why employees of the Namibia Wildlife Resorts will no longer work overtime unless the parastatal starts rewarding them for it.
Engage in social dialogue with the workers and their representatives to resolve the matter. Our members have decided not to perform any overtime work unless they are paid accordingly for November and December 2022. And the Public Service Union stands resolutely behind its members in full support. In conclusion, the central idea here is that we are advocating as a union. It's very simple. In terms of the law, overtime should be agreed upon. This means workers agree to put their time, skills and knowledge at the disposal of Namibia Wildlife Resorts. And in return, Namibia Wildlife Resorts agrees to pay them accordingly. Period. It is as simple as that. What if there is a problem? The one party has a problem, or NWR is unable to pay. Any obstacles that threatens this legal requirement should be resolved through social dialogue at enterprise level. And this is when NWR has failed dismally to date. The internal notice that they sent out on 24 May 2022, indicating that they will only pay overtime from the 1st of November, was not they did not consult anyone. It was a management decision. They decided unilaterally that they will not pay the workers overtime. They will only start from the 1st of November. Come the 1st of November, they still make a silent decision that they will not pay the workers again. And they don't engage further. This is where we have a problem, and they must make amends and rectify their decision. So unless they come up with an appropriate solution to the problem, our members are not willing to continue committing to any overtime work. After all, NWR is not an essential service provider. It's not an emergency whatever company. So overtime is not compulsory. If they are not willing to pay the workers, there is no obligation on the part of our members to put in hours of overtime.
Swakopmund Uranium and the Mine Workers Union of Namibia commenced with wage negotiations, which culminated in the signing of a 3-year wage agreement from 2023 to 2025. Swakopmund Uranium signed a 3-year contract to increase salaries by 5.8% in 2023 and by 5.5% for all employees within the bargaining unit for the period 1 January 2024 to 31 December 2025. Let's have a look.
Okay, good morning. For all our distinguished visit from the media and also distinguished guests from the BEC, and thank you, Chairman. Thank you for your very good speech and warm speech. And then thanks to our good work from both parties and the good cooperation between the two delegation teams, the negotiating progress today, Swakopmund Uranium and the MUN has reached another milestone by signing a 3-year wage agreement. I think this agreement is a amicable one solution given the current economic situation and company business performance. We also believe this agreement will bring stability and sustainability to our business. And then, as we know, today is also the last day of the Chinese New Year holiday season. So and then this year is the year of rabbit. So with this agreement, I definitely can say, I wish all of us, all employees in Swakopmund Uranium, a blessed and fruitful year of 2023. And then, with our collective effort, we can move forward hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder as fast as the rabbit to achieve our another milestone for this year. As the Chairman mentioned, our target of 4,700 production target. So we also have a commitment to improve and to establish the best labor relationship in Swakopmund Uranium in 2023. So anyway, lastly, congratulations for the both negotiating team to achieve this agreement. Thank you.
Several farmers' unions have accused the country's meat processing parastatal of diverting funds meant to develop the meat industry to fund its inefficient internal operations. After the break in the newspaper review segment, we continue with this story and more.
Namibia's hospitality is as vibrant as its people. Join the What's Cooking team as they travel the country cooking, chatting, and celebrating local personalities and the joy of food. If you think you have a standout offering, whether it's a restaurant, bar, pop-up event, or braai stand, get in touch with the What's Cooking team at cooking@synergy.com.na, and we will be there to show the world what's cooking. Programs air every Friday at 4 p.m. on all the NMH Facebook platforms, as well as on NTV, DSTV channel 285, and GoTV channel 94 at 9 p.m.
You're watching NMH at 1. Let's take a look at what the lead stories are in Namibia's daily newspapers. On the front page of the Namibian Sun, the paper reports that several farmers' unions have accused the country's meat processing parastatal of diverting funds meant to develop the meat industry to fund its inefficient internal operations. They also claim communal farmers are paid peanuts compared to their commercial counterparts. In an extraordinary attack on cash-strapped Meatco, unions did not mince their words when they accused the meat entity of favoring certain farmers when it comes to payments, failing to consult its wide-ranging membership, and failing to expeditiously operationalize abattoirs in the northern communal area in order to meet the needs of farmers. On the paper's page 4, among Namibians, 61% say they feel that elections failed to enable voters to remove non-performing leaders from office. The finding is included in a just-released Afrobarometer policy paper entitled "Africans Want More Democracy, but Their Leaders Are Still aren't listening." According to the report, for the most part, African citizens remain committed to democracy and democratic institutions.
Now, according to the Afrikaans daily newspaper Republican, the Windhoek City Council's decision-making ability is currently limited after a second attempt to put together City Council's management committee failed again last week. Now, according to City of Windhoek's legal representatives Ngatatue Kandovadu, the fact that only 3 councillors were elected to the management committee means that the committee was not sufficiently constituted and therefore will not be able to make valid decisions. Now, on the page 3, the paper reports that a Swakopmund man spent nearly 2.5 years in police custody for what now is deemed to be a false rape claim. This after a 15-year-old girl accused the man, her biological father, of rape in 2020. The man, who had been in custody ever since, was released on Monday the 23rd of January after new evidence surfaced and the girl admitted that the claim was untrue.
The Allgemeine Zeitung also reports that the Windhoek City Council's decision-making ability and activities are currently limited after a second attempt in putting together the City Council's management committee this past week failed again. On its page 3, the Allgemeine Zeitung reports that the Namibian Correctional Services has managed to save over 18 million Namibian dollars during the past 2 financial years on the production of food at 2 correctional facilities in the north.
Stay with us as we continue with the newspaper review after the break.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and oneup2.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Allgemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
According to the Namibian newspaper, the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters activist Michael Saddam Amshelelo is set to appear in the Walvis Bay Magistrates Court today following an incident on Friday in which he allegedly directed that the coffin containing the remains of Fabiola Zonjebo be brought to the supermarket at the town where she was employed. Zonjebo's body was discovered in the ocean at Independence Beach at Walvis Bay last Wednesday. Her family claims that she took her life after complaining of alleged abuse by her boss at ShopRite supermarket at the town. Now, Health Minister Kalumbi Shangula said there are 5 new hospitals in the pipeline, including a referral hospital in the Oshana region. The country currently has a limited number of referral hospitals. The land has been secured and fenced off. Other processes still need to be put in place, including the availability of funds, he added. However, the groundbreaking project is yet to take place, including the availability of funds, he said. Shangula said they were planning to build the Khomas District Hospital, Kurenkuru District Hospital, Ondangwa District Hospital, Oshiwarongo Regional Hospital, and Oshana Referral Hospital.
Now, according to New Era, after a balloting process on Friday at all National Housing Enterprise offices, more than 90% of staff voted in favor of a strike. This was confirmed by Public Service Union of Namibia Secretary General Matthias Hakuria, who initiated the ballot process after a deadlock over wage negotiations. We informed the Office of the Labour Commissioner, who would now be responsible to bring the parties together to finalise strike rules. Once this is finalised, the NHE management will be informed and given notice before the commencement of the strike, he said in a media statement. On the paper's page 3, 8 teachers were dismissed last year for misconduct. Education Executive Director Sanet Steenkamp has said 6 teachers were discharged from public service for being absent from work, while 2 teachers were dismissed for having sexual relations with learners. Of the 8, 3 were sacked from their duties in the Kavango East. 2 of these teachers were found guilty of having sexual relations with learners. 3 more were discharged in the Zambezi region and 2 in the Otjozondjupa region.
Now, according to Market Watch, Canadian-listed Osino Resources has received an environmental clearance from government, reconfirming its target to start construction on the Twin Hills gold mine near Karibib in the second half of this year. The granting of an environmental clearance certificate by the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism substantially de-risks Osino's permitting timeline and confirms Namibian regulatory support for the rapid advancement of Osino's Twin Hills gold project into the development phase, the company said in an announcement on the Toronto Stock Exchange on Friday. The ECC is valid for 3 years and renewable on a 3-yearly cycle.
Now, the Namibian Correctional Services has managed to save over 18 million Namibian dollars during the past 2 financial years on the production of food at 2 correctional facilities in the north. This story and more coming up after the break.
Ohole So Nice is an entertainment show brought to you by the youth for the youth. This is a dating show that allows individuals to participate and be their own true selves. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact Zone at synergy.com.na.
Let's head into our economic news. The Namibian Correctional Services has managed to save over 18 million Namibian dollars during the past 2 financial years on the production of food at 2 correctional facilities in the north. The Devundu Correctional Facility in Kavango East and the Evaristus Shikongo Correctional Facility in Oshikoto produced food items worth more than 20.9 million Namibian dollars for the 2022-2023 financial years. According to the NCS for the 2021-2022 and 2022-2023, it spent about 10.1 million Namibian dollars in the production of maize, wheat, lucerne, cow candy and vegetables at the 2 facilities. It has managed to produce food items worth more than 28.5 million Namibian dollars. As a result, the NCS has been able to save about 18.3 million Namibian dollars over the past 2 financial years. NCS Commissioner General Rafael Tuafeni Hamuniela visited the 2 correctional facilities last week with the purpose of assessing farm management activities and obtaining an overview of farm mechanization in the correctional system. The 2 facilities are part of the 4 farms that produce horticulture and agronomic crops as well as livestock for inmates' rations in the NCS.
Let's have a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar is up next to the British pound and the euro, maintaining its value next to the US dollar, but 2.55 Namibian dollars gets you 1 Chinese yuan in an uptick. NXS stock closing prices maintained their value, ANIREP on 9 points, MTC on 7.03 points. SPN Holdings made a dip of 14.8%, whilst the local index closed up 0.51%, and the overall index followed suit with a 0.22% uptick. Gold, copper, zinc, and Brent crude oil all made downturns of 0.27, 0.71 rather, 2.09, and 0.68% respectively.
Now, a Zimbabwean court granted bail on Friday to 26 opposition party members who were arrested for holding what authorities said was an unlawful gathering. This story and more news from the African continent after the break here on NMH at 1.
My.NA Property Show provides viewers with the best in-class content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest property-related products and services. If you would like to feature your brand or your campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Properties, more than just a roof over your head.
Heading into news from Africa, a Zimbabwean court granted bail on Friday to 26 opposition party members who were arrested for holding what authorities said was an unlawful gathering. The arrest of Citizens Coalition for Change members, including 2 members of parliament, stoked fears of a crackdown on opposition politicians ahead of a crucial election this year at a yet-to-be-announced date. This confirms that the arrest was an abuse of process in the first place, CCC spokeswoman Fadzai Mahere told journalists outside the court. All this shows that the regime's paranoia has reached fever pitch, and they noticed that they are staring defeat in the face. Zimbabwean police on January 14 fired tear gas at the CCC party gathering in Harare and arrested its members. The defendants' lawyers argued that the arrests were unlawful as the gathering was at a private space. Arguing against bail, prosecutors said the party had not sought clearance to hold the meeting. Zimbabwe laws require that political parties apply for approval from police 2 weeks in advance before holding a gathering.
The arrest came after a wave of politically motivated violence against opposition supporters in rural Zimbabwe, raising fears of repression ahead of this year's presidential election. Getting into our next story, gunmen killed 8 people after opening fire on a group of people celebrating a birthday party in a township in South Africa's Eastern Cape province. Police have said 2 gunmen entered the yard of the house on Sunday evening in Gqeberha, formerly Port Elizabeth, and randomly shot at guests. A police statement said the owner of the house was among those killed, while 3 others were also wounded. The Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, and the head of police, Fani Masemola, are expected to lead a delegation to the crime scene on Monday. No arrests have been made and an investigation has been opened on the attack, local outlets report.
We'll be heading into international news after the break.
The Regional Review brings you news, views, and interviews from NMH correspondents from across the country. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact regional@synergy.com.na.
North Korea on Sunday denied providing arms to Moscow after the United States said the nuclear-armed state supplied rockets and missiles to Russia's private military group Wagner. Washington earlier this month designated the Wagner Group as a transnational criminal organization, citing its weapons dealings with Pyongyang in violation of UN Security Council resolutions. The White House showed U.S. intelligence photographs of Russian rail cars entering North Korea, picking up a load of infantry rockets and missiles and returning to Russia, according to National Security spokesman John Kirby. In a statement carried by official Korean Central News Agency, a senior North Korean official rejected the accusations, warning that the U.S. would face a really undesirable result if it persisted in spreading the self-made rumor.
Trying to tarnish the image of North Korea by fabricating a non-existent thing is a grave provocation that can never be allowed and that cannot but trigger its reaction, said Kwon Jong-gun, Director General of the Department of U.S. Affairs. He also called it a foolish attempt to justify its offer of weapons to Ukraine. Earlier this week, U.S. President Joe Biden promised 31 Abrams tanks, one of the most powerful and sophisticated weapons in the U.S. Army, to help Kyiv fight off Moscow's invasion.
Stay with us as we head into local sports shortly. Now on Friday, Drikas Kutsia and Melissa Hines won the elite national individual time trial titles of the 2023 Nedbank National Road Cycling Championships in Windhoek. On Sunday morning, Tristan De Lang and Farah Lusa won the elite category road race for men and women respectively. Kutsia outsmarted Jean-Paul Berger, the defending 2022 champion, with 66 seconds to finish the 40-kilometer race in 56 minutes and 29 seconds to extend his tally to 5 national championship titles. Berger finished second in 57 and 3.5, while Hardesnell came in third with 1 hour, 2 minutes and 57 seconds registered on the stopwatch. Due to an injury, Losa could not defend her 2022 title successfully over 30 kilometers. However, she still managed to end third in 32 minutes, 37 seconds with Henri Krugel second.
Now, the 12 teams to contest this year's MTC Netball Namibia Premier League have been confirmed following the governing body's promotion relegation playoffs held at Wanderers on Saturday. Wanderers from Windhoek have secured qualification for the first time, while the Musati Region's Fatou Netball Club will also be a newcomer in the upcoming season. 2 more Musati teams, Northern Fly Ballers and Young Stars, managed to hold on to their Premier League spots at last weekend's qualifiers, which were contested by 9 clubs from across the country. Commerce Region representative Wanderers, led by captain Bernay delivered the 2 highest scoring and most dominant performances of the day, racking up a 34-6 win against Sumab and a 29-4 blowout against the Africat Wildcats.
African Stars Football Club's strategy of trying to put games to bed in the first half has worked successfully on many occasions, while Tigers FC turned to experience in a bid to revive their season. African Stars coach Marvin Bakeda has commended the team's players for starting the game stronger in the first half. This after the Reds put 3 past Orlando Pirates on Saturday in front of a fully packed Unam Stadium. Stars took the lead through Dynamo Fredericks before Willie Stefano scored the second for the away side. Edmund Kambanda also headed home from close range to give the Stars an unusable lead before half-time.
Stay with us after the break. We get into our international sports news.
AMH Motor Holdings WHS Old Boys won their one-day Premier League match against Trusco United by 202 runs in 39.1 overs on Saturday afternoon in a cricket game in Olympia. Old Boys piled up 325 runs over the loss of 7 wickets in 50 overs, while United could only reply with 123 for 10 all out in 39.1 overs. Old Boys' Shaune Fosche contributed 36 runs. With the bat, Gerard Janse, Van Rensburg, Zakio Van Vuren 80 not out, while Marlon Kruger chased 6 fours and 8 sixes to the boundary for his 109 runs. Old Boys Fosche took 3 wickets for 18 runs. Tangeni Lungameni, Donovan Zealand and Kruger helped with 1 out of 9. Now the United side suffered early blows with the first 5 batters sent to the showers for a mere 28 runs.
Now, Manchester United's Brazil midfielder Casemiro scored twice as they beat second-tier Reading 3-1 to reach the FA Cup 5th round on Saturday, but Marcus Rashford was denied a record. The former Real Madrid player extended United's lead 4 minutes later with a fizzing low shot from 25 metres. Fred made it 3-0 before Reading had former Liverpool and England striker Andy Carroll sent off for a second yellow card.
Stay with us as your highlights come through right after the break.
Straight Talk is a debate competition for high school learners and a spelling competition for primary school learners, mostly focusing on current affairs among the youth. Contact Zone at synergy.com.na to share your products and services. Straight Talk. Don't raise your voice, improve your argument.
You're watching NMH at 1, and if you're just joining us, here are your news highlights. A Zimbabwean court granted bail on Friday to 26 opposition party members who were arrested for holding what authorities said was an unlawful gathering. North Korea on Sunday denied providing arms to Moscow after the United States said the nuclear-armed state supplied rockets and missiles to Russia's private military group Wagner. In sports on Friday, Drikas Kutsia and Melissa Hines won the elite national individual time trial titles of the 2023 Nedbank National Road Cycling Championships in Windhoek.
Those have been your highlights. NMH at 1 is your lunchtime news companion. See you same time, same place tomorrow. Cheers.